Ever wondered what actually goes on behind those, big headlines? Companies being bought, sold by private equity, it can sound like this hidden world of finance. But today, we want to cut through the jargon. We're looking at the real stories, the surprising ways value gets created.
Yeah, we're doing a deep dive into Ted Seides' book, Private Equity Deals. It's got lessons in investing, deal-making operations, all from the pros themselves. Ted's got this great background, right? Investor and podcaster. So he's really pulled back the curtain on actual transactions. You get insight straight from the general partners, the fund managers, and the limited partners, the big investors. It's basically a collection of really insightful case studies from his show.
Okay, so our mission for you today is to understand how private equity really works. Forget the simple headlines. We want memorable examples, practical lessons for you listening, wanting to cut through the noise. What are the core ideas here? What should we focus on?
Well, we'll see. It's not just about financial shuffling.
Mm-hmm.
It's about real operational change, sometimes dramatic turnarounds, and even, the power of just being patient in smaller markets.
All right, let's unpack that first one, operational transformation. You mentioned this idea of the perfect buyout. We're looking at KKR buying CHI overhead doors.
Garage
Doors, right. And here's where it gets really interesting. KKR was the fourth private equity owner. You have to wonder, what's possibly left to do then? Is the lemon already squeezed dry?
Exactly. That's the question. And what's fascinating is KKR went way beyond the usual financial playbook. They brought in broad employee ownership, made every worker an owner. And this wasn't just like a nice gesture. It really motivated people on the factory floor to find small improvements. The result? A massive payout, over $340 million to the employees when the company sold. That was actually more than KKR's own initial equity investment of $250 million.
Wow, $340 million to the employees.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It is. And the company itself transformed. They doubled the core operating profit, the EBITDA organically, from $60 million up to $130 million.
Yeah.
How? By really focusing on efficiency, safety, productivity. It shows that empowering the workforce, it can unlock incredible value.
That payout sounds amazing. Like every employee became a mini investor. But is this employee ownership thing scalable for private equity, or was CHI just, a lucky one-off?
That's a fair question. It's definitely getting more attention now. It works best for companies with, say, strong operations already and a workforce that's really engaged. It's not for every company, sure.
Yeah.
But CHI proves that when you align everyone's interests like that, you can get some truly outsized growth and returns. It could be a repeatable model for creating long-term value.
Okay, so KKR showed us value in an established company through people power. Now let's flip to the other extreme. A business many had totally written off. Apollo Global Management buying Yahoo. I mean, Yahoo felt like, a mess, right? Declining.
Definitely perceived that way. And this tackles that idea. You mentioned private equity sometimes getting a bad rap for being short-term focused. But Apollo's play here, well, they got Yahoo and AOL pretty cheap from Verizon, around 5 times EBITDA. That low price signals the risk everyone else saw.
So they saw something others missed.
Exactly. They saw value in the sheer scale and complexity, thinking the parts were worth more than the market thought. And crucially, it wasn't just about cutting costs. They dramatically upgraded the management team, brought in fresh eyes, new strategies. They shed some non-core stuff, really doubled down on advertising and media strengths.
Did it work?
It seems so. The result? Yahoo apparently became 4 times more profitable than it was back in 2019. It really shows how sharp leadership can absolutely move the needle, even on assets people think are, broken. Turns out, even giants can be turned around.
Okay, from tech giants back down to earth, let's look at smaller businesses. You mentioned Permanent Equity and Selective Search, a matchmaking firm. Why would PE, known for huge deals, even look at a niche service like that? Seems kind of small ball.
Yeah, and that's the point. Most PE firms do shy away from these smaller or medium businesses, the SMEs. They see them as maybe too messy, not efficient enough for their usual models. But Permanent Equity, they lean into it. They take a really long view. They act more like a supportive long-term partner. They're even flexible with things like holding debt.
So a different approach entirely.
Completely. And it meant Selective Search could handle challenges, like the pandemic, without that intense pressure. They could keep growing, reinvesting. It proves that deep relationships and patience, they can generate really outstanding returns, often 4 to 6 times the free cash flow. finding golden markets others just overlook because they're not looking for a quick flip.
So today, we've seen really different ways private equity works, haven't we? Transforming established players with employee ownership, reviving tech giants, nurturing these niche small businesses. It really points to strategy, operations, and yeah, maybe that human connection too.
Absolutely. And the bigger picture here is that private equity, well, it touches our lives more than we probably realize. Think about it, the garage door on your house, maybe the apps on your phone. Understanding these different strategies helps us see the forces shaping the economy, the way capital moves around.
Yeah.
It's dynamic.
So maybe next time you hear about a company being bought out, think beyond just the headline. Ask yourself, what's the real story here? What kind of change is happening behind the scenes? And who is actually benefiting? Is new value being unlocked, not just for the finance folks, but maybe for employees, customers, the whole market? Something to think about.